Hello and welcome to MC in Focus, Montgomery County's only student-produced newscast. I'm Whitney Littlejohn.
And I'm Mariolis Molina, and today, here's the top stories.
The search for Alicia Rudd, the missing 7-year-old girl, has taken a dark turn. Police now believe that the girl may have been murdered by homeless shelter janitor Khalil Malik Tatum. The search has been turned into a recovery mission, suggesting that authorities do not expect her to be found alive. Pictures and video of both Rudd and Tatum have been released to the public. Tatum has also been charged with the murder of his wife. If you have seen either Tatum or Alicia, contact your nearest police department or call 202-727-9099.
A student at Georgetown University came back from spring break to find his dorm room turned into a science lab. His roommate, Daniel Milsman, spent 4 days missing with castor beans and chemicals to concoct a toxin as deadly as cobra venom, ricin. Milsman told another friend part of him wanted to use it. According to Danny Honorado, Milsman's attorney, the 19-year-old was suffering from depression. The ricin was not intended for anyone other than himself. Milsman's family has made an arrangement with Sibley Hospital for him to undergo a 2-week psychiatric evaluation. He is charged with the possession of biological toxin.
The Washington area is focusing its attention on revamping the transportation system. The goal is to better serve the needs of the residents of Montgomery County, Prince George's County, and the District of Columbia. Montgomery County is planning a bus rapid transit system, and Howard County is looking for a similar system or light rail project for the area. Another priority will be to ensure that budgetary allowances have been made to address issues facing returning veterans. They will be re-entering the workforce and may need training and mental health services. The collaboration of state and federal money can also address issues of economic development and environmental stability. The 3 jurisdictions worked together to pass a minimum wage increase last November.
Visitors and locals will notice a change down at the National Mall this week. After 3 years of extensive renovations, the Washington Monument will reopen this May. Many of you will remember the earthquake that hit the metro area in 2011 that caused significant damage to the monument. For the last few years, it's been covered in scaffolding while under repair. Most of the scaffolding has been removed, with more to be done in the next few days. According to the National Park Service, tours of the Washington Monument will resume on May 12th. Visitors can begin reserving tickets as early as April 16th. For operating hours and ticketing information, visit the National Park Service website at www.nps.gov.
The Dinosaur Hall at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History is gearing up for a 5-year renovation. Paleontologist Kirk Johnson explained that the $48 million overhaul is long overdue. The display has been up so long that the Smithsonian isn't even sure which bones are real. Complete fossil skeletons are rare, and museums generally complete fossils by replacing missing bones with plaster replicas. They used to paint everything for a uniform look. They now make a clearly visible distinction between real bones and fillers. Some of the display will be set up in other halls for people to see during the change. If you want to see the exhibit before it closes, you'll have to do it before April 28th.
Police are still searching for a man who allegedly robbed a real estate agent and a home she was about to show in New Carrollton, Maryland. New Carrollton Police Chief David Rice said a female real estate agent was entering a vacant house in the 6500 block of Limit Drive when a man on the street followed her inside. The man allegedly implied he had a weapon and took her purse and some other personal items. The agent did not suffer any physical harm, and the search still continues.
We will be right back after this student-produced commercial break.
My name is Maimuna Kamara. I'm in a television program at Montgomery College. The television program is designed primarily for students to gain knowledge and skills needed to pursue career in television. It teaches the students skills applicable to the real world as a writer, as an editor, as a director, and many more. I recommend the television program because it will prepare you to enter the job market with the appropriate education.
Don't let calories kill your appetite. Serve some tender chicken with rice, apples, and string beans. Have pork chops with black bean corn relish. You can even try something entirely different, like rice and plantains, fish and stew, garnished with green beans and carrots. Then have a healthy chocolate milkshake or a warm banana pudding for dessert with no extra calories. Eating healthy should always look this good. The variety is endless. Try it.
Could winter finally be coming to an end? As I'm sure everyone has had enough of these spring teases. However, we will just have to get through this weekend. And with that, here's a look at our forecast. Today, we will see temperatures in the 60s with an 80% chance of rain. Tomorrow, we'll again offer 90% chance of rain with temps expected in the upper 40s. And Sunday, there is a slight chance of rain with temperatures expected in the mid-50s. Then we might actually get a glimpse of spring-like conditions as the extended forecast shows a significant warm-up with temps expected in the mid to upper 60s on both Monday and Tuesday. Hopefully by then we can finally put away those coats and put on those shorts.
Tiger Woods has announced that his annual AT&T National Tournament has a new sponsor. For more, we go to William Smink.
Tiger Woods announced that Quicken Loans will be the new title sponsor of his annual summer tournament. Tiger also announced that they are making plans to alternate venues for the tournament in upcoming years, stating, "There's lots of nice golf courses in the area. We'd like to keep it in the DC community. This is where we started this event." In 2009, the event had a record attendance of over 190,000 fans, generating over $30 million from Montgomery County. This year's tournament will be held at Congressional Country Club from June 23rd to the 29th.
The cleanup continues after the oil spill that occurred off the coast of Galveston, Texas. On Saturday, March 22nd, a barge carrying more than 1 million gallons of fuel oil collided with a tanker. It began leaking more than 15,000 gallons of oil. Traffic in and out of Galveston Bay came to stop because of the collision. As cleanup efforts continue, crews aim to completely reopen the Houston Ship's Channel in the next few days. Unfortunately, the spill is responsible for the death of almost 20 birds and many others have been sent to rehabilitation.
The search for Flight 370 is not over. On Monday, Najib announced that the aircraft had gone down with the sea with no survivors. China is demanding that Malaysia turn over the satellite data that was used to determine the crash of Flight 370. Officials have narrowed the search area, but the zone is still as large as Texas and Oklahoma combined. In the meantime, relatives of the passengers are complaining about the lack of reliable information.
President of Montgomery College, Dr. Durian Pollard, suggests that the college needs county money to add more job positions. She hopes the county will invest an extra $19 million that will total the budget at Montgomery College to more than $244 million. $11 million of the investment will go towards increasing employee benefits, and the other share will create 30 staff positions for the Bioscience Education Center at the Germantown campus. In addition, the extra money will be paid out to the nursing staff program at Tacoma Park.
Montgomery College has more to offer than just English and math. A couple of MCN Focus reporters went the extra mile by interviewing one of the professors who teaches an interesting and useful subject, meteorology.
Students trying to decide what science to take to satisfy the general science requirement often look to biology, chemistry, or physics. They may not know about a course that not only satisfies the requirement, but is fun to provide students with valuable information. Meteorology at Montgomery College offers students the chance to look at real-time weather data, make solid predictions, and learn valuable tips on how to stay safe during severe weather. Professor William Cryer teaches meteorology at MC.
The study of weather and climate is relevant to not just to people who are in the sciences, but it's relevant to everybody. Every time you step out in the morning, you're interested in what the weather is and what the weather is going to do, especially on days when there might be severe weather.
Professor Cryer hopes that meteorology students will be inspired by the lectures and the lab exercises.
I do a style of class that is not so much lecture. I do some lecturing, but I expect my students to do their own learning, and so I present current weather situations. I teach my students to ask and answer their own questions about the weather. and each of them has to do a case study at the end of the semester on a current weather event that happens during the semester.
The study of meteorology offers many opportunities for students beyond working as a meteorologist on television. A licensed meteorologist can be a consultant for a local clothing store or department store and work for one of the many branches of the National Weather Service. And if it's not your career choice, just taking the course offers skills and knowledge that can enrich your daily life.
People have the misconception that it's just forecasting. Meteorologists are employed by department stores, for instance, who want advice on when to put the sleds or the snow shovels on sale, or when to put away their winter stuff and bring out their spring apparel. Construction companies need consulting from a meteorologist. Environmental groups and environmental issues are weather dependent, and so meteorologists can work with environmental issues.
But the most important thing for students to consider before starting,
but I would suggest that just for the sake of flexibility, get as much math as you can.
for MC in Focus, I'm Marcus Van Putten.
And now for Lucas Sports, we turn to Carlos Mesa.
Thank you, Marilis. Hello and welcome to another live edition of In Focus Sports. I'm Carlos Mesa. So finally, after a 2-week delay, our baseball team and softball team here at Montgomery College were able to play their first games over the spring break. Our baseball team were able to play 11 games and won 7 out of those 11 games. As for our softball team, they were only able to play 2 games, and unfortunately, they weren't able to pick up a W. Better luck on the rest of the season, ladies. Go Raptors. Now, on to some NCAA tournament news, as the Elite 8 in the men's tournament is starting to fill out, with Dayton, Wisconsin, Florida, and San Diego State moving on to the next round. We still have to wait for the results of the remaining games played later on tonight, as Virginia and Michigan State will take each other on, Iowa State versus Connecticut, Kentucky versus Louisville, and finally Tennessee versus Michigan. As for the women's tournament, they won't begin play for the Sweet 16 until this weekend. And if you didn't know, the Lady Terps of not Montgomery College, but of Maryland, are still in the tournament and will have to have a tough matchup against the number 1 seed Tennessee. In NBA news, with 3 weeks remaining in the season until playoffs, teams on the outside looking in are continuing to try to make that push into the playoffs. As for our Washington Wizards, they remain the number 6 seed, hoping to not fall into that 7 or 8 seed range, trying to avoid playing the number 2 seed Miami Heat or the number 1 seed Indiana Pacers. The Wizards are still without their starting power forward Nene, who will be back by playoff time, but have gotten amazing play out of the 32-year-old veteran Drew Gooden, who they signed late last month. As for Major League Baseball spring training, it's just about over, and the regular season is right around the corner. You could taste it. The first game of the 2014 season will be played this Sunday, March 30th, as the San Diego Padres will host the LA Dodgers. In some NFL free agency news, Mark Sanchez signs with the Eagles, Michael Vick joins the Jets, Jared Allen joins the Bears, and with NC in Focus, I'm Carlos Mesa. Back to you, Mariolis and Whitney.
Thank you, Carlos. Freezer incarcerations could change in the near future. Scientists claim that the new biotechnology could be used to trick prisoners into thinking they have served a 1,000-year sentence. In reality, one will have only been in jail for 8 hours. There are 2 methods in making this possible. One involves human drugs, while another involves linking the human brain to a computer to speed up the rate of the brain's functions. Dr. Roche of Eon Magazine shares interest towards the new technology. She believes the scientific goal is to look at today's punishments through the lens of the future. Thank you for tuning in to My MC in Focus. I'm Mariolis Molina.
And I'm Whitney Littlejohn.
And I'm Carlos Mesa.
Have a great day.
Thanks, you guys. See you next Friday.
See ya.